Hi there, Man Alive listener. This is your host, Shana James. You may or may not know that I started a new podcast. It's called Practicing Love, Have the Best Love and Sex of Your Life After 40. I wanted to post a few episodes over here so you can get a feel for the new podcast and hopefully subscribe to it so you don't miss any of the new episodes. I'm excited to build on Man Alive and support people, all people, with love and relationships, dating and sex, and what it takes to not only keep love and sex alive, but to actually have the best love and sex of your life, especially in midlife and beyond. Though to be honest, whatever age you are, there will be powerful information for you there. So I hope you enjoy this episode of Practicing Love, and feel free to reach out with questions and ahas and also topics you'd like to see covered there. If you haven't yet taken the quiz to see what keeps you from having the best love and sex of your life, go to shanajamescoaching.com/quiz. You'll get a personalized report of your strengths and challenges in the 5 crucial areas that lead to your most fulfilling and exciting love and sex life. Go to shanajamescoaching.com/quiz to find out. Hello and welcome to this episode of Man Alive. I'm your host, Shana James, and I'm excited to have a conversation today where we're going to talk about where modern science meets ancient wisdom and the path of being a man in this world who gets to be connected to yourself and feel authentic and vital and alive. And there's a lot of controversy these days about modern masculinity and what that means, and fears of being weak or being soft and all those things. And so I have an amazing guest, Josh Rimany. Thank you, Josh, for being here.
Hello.
And Josh has been in the medical world for decades, and you've had your own journey with spirit and the inner world and grown in new dimensions in recent years. And so I'm excited to hear you be able to bridge that gap, right, between science and ancient wisdom and support men to feel free, really.
I loved building this path towards health and wellness and more towards healing, because I think that's really the key word here. And I'm here as a conduit to what I've gone through so I can help others. That's the calling.
And what I love, and I'm wondering if you could speak to this a little bit as we're starting, is that health and healing from a Western perspective is different than when we start to integrate some of this ancient wisdom. So tell us a little bit about your journey and how you've found these new domains.
Well, the first question everybody asks you is, what do you do? Right? Like the do part, it's like, no, who am I? What am I? What is my being? Right?
Yeah.
So I'm a pharmacist by trade.
Yeah.
At least I used to be, but that became functional medicine provider, clinical nutrition, working on all the wellness pieces of the science, which led me down my own path of healing. And fast forward 15, 20 years, it's really brought me down this amazing journey of self-discovery of moving from a sick care space, which is symptom management and all that other stuff, to working more towards what I feel is where we are moving towards as humans as well, is how do we heal, right? Yeah. Healing the body, healing the mind, healing the energetics, the spirit. So I've gone through my own journey in that respect, and I love blending the two together, the science and the technology and all the modern day things we have, but with that lens of the timeless wisdom that we still carry that we sort of forgotten. I think that's what brought us together and how we aligned.
Yeah. If we just go right there, what are some of those timeless wisdom pieces that, as you expanded beyond the Western medicine world, that you started to see or started to integrate?
I think, how did I get there is a really great question, because we're still in that, like I call the pill for the ill approach, right? The outside world is affecting our health, our well-being. It's like something is affecting us. And I think we've lost, and we got into this space where we were incentivizing our system around, I call it the ologist world, right? The specializing of a body part or a thing in our systems.
Yeah.
And we've lost that ability to treat as a whole,
As a
right?
whole.
And we're not even just talking the body. Like we've even dissected the parts of the body, right? Like you go to 10 years of post-grad medical school to work on this one little pinky, maybe the left pinky. It's like, how specialized do we need when we're really needing to look at everything as a whole? That's a root cause type thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it goes beyond the body. And that's where I think the timeless wisdom of all the things that we've seemingly forgotten in our modern day world, and medicine especially, is how do we treat that wholeness? How do we that's a big word these days, like wholeness and authenticity. But even from a health and wellness perspective, the mind-body connection is real.
Yes.
The mind, body, soul, spirit connection is real. Like that's where epigenetics comes from. Like all of our genetics and all the codes that are going on in our beautiful, intricate bodies is all affected by our environment, our upbringing, our traumas, our generational things. All of that has to be put into the equation if we're looking at our own health and well-being. Yeah. We've decompartmentalized it. So it's remembering, how do we work on the wholeness of it all and still honor and not just wash away the things we've learned about genomics and all those fun things. So I usually just put the big word "and" in it, because it's not one or the other.
It's not one or the other. And I remember when I was on your podcast, we were even talking about how relationships and the relational aspect is another piece of wholeness. And so oftentimes when I'm working with people on relationships, it's like we can start to have symptoms and aches and pains and all kinds of suffering if our relationships aren't feeling connected, if we're not feeling seen and honored and understood.
And that's one of the core components of when we look at lifestyle medicine, listening food, the thing we put in our body, nutrition, exercise and movement, sleep is big, stress, and relationships. Relationships is the one that is probably the most not looked at from a health and wellness perspective, is like, how is your relationships to the people that you love, to your community, to the people you work with, to yourself, and to the world as a whole. If you don't have those right connections and relationships, the body does
what happens? Yeah. What do you see?
Everything's out of control, right? But if you're not working in all those environments, and we all have one of those categories we probably already intuitively know is the one that sort of slides the most, right? Because nobody's perfect. We're all imperfectly perfect. But we all have to put attention and awareness on them. I was talking to someone the other day. It's like, well, I can't work here unless I really work on your sleep. You're not sleeping well. You're going to be a mess.
Right.
We literally, these human beings we have, if you don't sleep for days, you literally will die. And you know when you go crazy, because even if you get one bad night's sleep, your whole day is shot. But it's the number one longevity tool. I can put 3.5 years of good health onto your lifespan.
Yes.
If you just work on that one thing.
No, but it's crazy. I woke up this morning and my partner said, "What are you thinking?" And I was like, "I'm thinking about how I'm so much of a happier person when I sleep, right? And like I actually want to be connected and all these things."
Let's look at all those, though. All of those pieces have a moment of quality to it, right? Yes. It's not just the sleep. This is why I wear an Oura ring, because we now have the technology to show what levels of sleep you have, how much deep, how much REM, because that's where the science piece, the technology and the modern day part comes in.
Yeah.
Whereas back in the day, the lights go out, you go to sleep. The sun goes up, you wake up. That's our natural rhythm. It's so much more
complicated now. So, okay, if we go back to your personal journey and, you started to find this body, mind, soul connection, is there something that you can share about what happened for you, for people or men who are listening who are on that edge or they haven't quite gotten there yet? What made it safe for you to open?
I've been doing men's groups and men's circles for probably about a decade. So I'm used to having conversations where I can open up.
Yeah.
But what I was starting to get called to was I call it the second mountain of life, right? When you start asking these deeper questions in your wisdom, right?
Yes.
Is this it? What am I here for? There's something else. There's something just not right. Like that thing, right?
Like that internal scratching at you.
You can't put a finger on it, but there's a knowing.
Yeah.
And that knowing is here, right? That knowing is your intuition.
Yeah.
Now you can talk it from a health perspective, a relationship perspective, or just a broader perspective of purpose.
Yes.
So I went on a pretty courageous journey, I would say, where I knew what I needed to do and I did it, but I didn't know the path. Like I knew what and why I was doing it. I just had to get clarity. I think a lot of men and women too, but we get stuck in our analytical. And trust me, I'm very analytical. It's been it's my shadow and my gift.
Yep.
But what I worked on was like, I don't know how, I don't know when, but I know what I want and why.
Okay.
So I just led into that, and it led me all over the world, learning from healers, doing plant medicines, all sorts of different things.
What did you know, just before you keep going, what did you know you wanted and what was the why?
I didn't feel complete.
Okay.
I didn't feel whole.
Yeah.
I had a great business. I had great success. I had a level of self-made success, but there was just something, that calling we get, right? That voice that's not really a voice for me. It's not like I'm getting this major download that's literally talking in me. No, it was this
more just a sense.
Essence. I call it like a poof, right?
Yeah.
That just whiff, that if you don't pay attention and you're not aware, it goes right by, right?
Yeah.
All of us, like you said, it's complex these days.
Yeah.
So that led me down the path of my own self-discovery, where I was putting me first. And that's what I had mixed up. And I think we were talking about that earlier, maybe on my podcast, was where they put they tell you with the airplane mask, right, to put it on first before you put it on your little children and help other people. We know that. Well, at least we intellectually know these things.
Sort of, right? We intellectually know it, but most of us,
But as
and it's tricky. It's really tricky, right? When you have a family and you have a health profession, all of this, it's very tricky.
I've always enjoyed helping other people. It helps me.
Yes.
Almost in a selfish kind of way, but not like targeted. Yeah. But what happens was I was working really hard in my business, and my logic in my head, that's normal for all of us, right? Working really hard so that I could have a good marriage, so that I could have my children, the way they have. And then I was left over, even in the wellness space. Now, I did take good care of myself and all that stuff, but there was that thing that says, no, I got to flip that script. Do you first was a principle that had taken hold of my own teachings, was like, Josh, when you do that, you really got to do that. And so there was this place that I came from.
And I want to get a little more concrete with that, because it's I think for many men I've worked with, it's a scary thing to put yourself first. And I know you went on a journey, and you actually, I think, went without your wife and children.
Oh, I had to, not purposely, but I had to make really hard decisions. Like I had to separate from my normal life, which means.
And I just want to point out that doesn't have to be the case for everybody, right? There may be moments, there may be retreats that you go on, there may be different ways. And so it can look very different ways, but you're not
formula for this.
You're
stuff,
not
right?
like taking the scraps. You're starting to shift into, what do I actually need here?
Well, think of it this way, right? And these are the micro moments are what matters. It's not the big journey, but for me, it was a culmination up to that. Like I was heading up that mountain. I had nowhere to go. And I was like, I got to do this. Yeah. That was what I decided. Now, when we do it from a place of love, compassion, and wholeness, that means you're not doing it from a negative perspective. You're not forcing somebody out. Yeah, you can love them. You can love anyone out the door, right?
Yes.
That's like
Yes.
firm but loving. The means that you have a boundary. It says, this is what's important to me.
Yep.
We have these, don't we have these things in our relationships every day, right? You feel really compelled to this,
Yep.
but you make decisions based on someone else's reaction, which I
Yep.
was doing a lot of. Because they didn't want to hurt people's feelings. They didn't want to do this. There was some level of sacrifice. Yes. I imagine the women you work with can resonate with that. I just had the conversation with my wife the other day. She came home from a conference, like really sick, didn't feel well. And then she just goes into mom mode, starts doing all the stuff, like the dishes. And I'm like, why are you doing the dishes? Don't you feel not well?
I'm like, what other choice do we have, right? That's where it goes to. And I think for men
because
too.
I do all the things, right? There's some labeling in that. So the micro moments are what matters. It's not what you say yes to all the time. Sometimes it's what you say no to.
Yeah. And I like you said, the micro moments versus this global decision. It's actually moment to moment making decisions and checking in. And then in your relationship with your wife, I'm imagining, but you can tell me there's got to be some sense of collaboration, because if it's just, I put me first and I'm not in relationship with others, that pushes people away.
In another modern day science, there are these ways to communicate with, because I have a certain way of thinking, right? And it's very divergent. I can think about different things all the time. So I have to condense things down into some simple facts for people. Yeah. So I spend a lot of time really massaging that communication style. And I don't get it right all the time, but the intention is what the intention and ethics always matter. If you intend to do it because it aligns with your spirit, it aligns with your purpose, it aligns with who you are. We all know it. Everyone's different, right? Yeah. But if it aligns, and you just inherently know these things. And you know when you're out of alignment too.
If
just
you're
like
listening.
Your car. When your car's wobbling on the road and it's out of alignment, it still runs,
right?
But you know something's not right.
You can feel it. But I think, right, it is if you're listening, because we've been trained out of listening to our bodies and to our spirits and to our heart.
Because we've been so... There's no wrong to any of what we're saying. There's no programming. Like, we've just been in the age of intellect for so long, the Industrial Revolution, all these modern day technologies, they're allowing us to not hear the whispers that we already know within us. So grounding, meditation, breath work, all these things that are emerging into this wellness field are so critical, especially for men, because we get real analytical. We want to fix stuff. We want to stay here. What's wrong? Like, what's wrong is a question that you could answer here, because it's not the thing that's wrong. There's something not in alignment or resonance.
You're pointing more toward the internal.
Your intuition, your heart, your soul, right?
Yeah.
The place. And that's what I love doing now. Why I love helping other men is aligning this with this.
Yeah. Aligning head and heart, just for people who are listening. Yeah.
Well, you can, lining the head to the heart. That was my biggest intention when I went on my journey, was to get out of here and into here. But what I didn't realize, and I learned through my many months of integration work, was I had to release what was blocking this in order to open it up.
God,
I know that sounds
so nice if it wasn't that way. Well, make it not esoteric. Like, what did you actually have to go through?
Let me put the other side of it to the equation. Is we know there's a heart-mind connection, right? There's a thinking, feeling loop we all have. The problem people don't realize is they think this is the master.
This being the mind.
The mind.
Yeah.
But in fact, there's 80% more nerve endings going from the heart to the brain than the brain to the heart.
Wow.
So what we've forgotten was this is the regulatory system, right? It's just like the autonomic nervous system. While we're breathing, you can control your breath in some ways, but you can't in others. It's automatic. Your body knows. The knowing is what we need to reconnect with. And this is where I think humanity is starting to move.
Yeah.
into this new golden age we're coming into, because we're moving more into making decisions. We all know this, right? Moms, dads, it doesn't matter. Your intuition told you something, and then you figured it out after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I knew I shouldn't have blank.
Isn't it like even Einstein and a bunch of the, famous scientists were like, oh yeah, I figured that out during a nap or in the shower or.
Well, yeah, now we're getting to that bigger quantums thing. Is all information has already existed. It's just an energetic pattern. Yeah. Einstein, everyone, all the sages, all the gurus, all the people that came up with all the fun stuff. They just said, it just came to me.
Yeah.
But that's not a thought though.
Mm.
So how do we do that more, right? One of those things that I've been teaching a lot is the art of non-doing.
I love that one.
So think of flow, think of zone, whatever. If you're an athlete, you think the zone. If you're an artist, you think of flow. If you're an entrepreneur, you think of maybe a little of both.
Yep.
How do you get in those states more often? Well, you get present for sure. So getting close, present, meditation, those types of things, mindfulness.
Yep.
But non-doing, what do we normally do when our schedules are always full, right? We said in the beginning, it's complex now. I'm the worst offender. I can't even fill a taco right because I'm going to overfill it. So, but what happens? So I have to be intentional about putting non-doing time in my work. When we go to the beach or go to the mountains, when was the last time you had a really awesome thought because you had a meeting?
Yeah, it's amazing. And I fight non-doing so much. And yet
we all
crave it so much too.
Come on. Like, we're all busy people. Like, this is why we have 10 emails and 5 of these and we're just inundated with information. So it's really difficult. I'm getting spams every day on my phone now.
Everywhere. On your phone, your computer, right? Everywhere.
You're getting bombarded. So what do? I put my phone on do not disturb, or more importantly, like airplane mode.
Yeah.
I'm outside and I'm not even, the thinking loop has to slow down.
Yes.
This isn't like doing more or trying to be productive. Those are focus hours. These are not doing. You can't do
your way out of this.
Try sitting with yourself, thinking about anything, almost like a contemplation.
Yeah.
I do this a lot with my Gene Keys profile. Like, I'll take one of my Gene Keys and I'll just sit with one word.
Yeah.
And whatever comes to me is what I do. You can do this really simple. You can just sit, close your eyes, focus on your heart, breathe in and out of your heart 3 times, and just focus there. And then allow whatever to come. Try it for 10 minutes and see how much. Try it for
even 2 minutes, right? It's like.
Try it. And I always do this with my clients, friends, whatever. I just say, try and see what happens, right? Yeah. The happens part is you're noticing how difficult it is because you've been wired to go, I'm thinking.
And our brains are so much faster. Our minds are fast. And then as we slow down and listen to our hearts.
Because we've been so connected with whatever thing you got, we have the attention span less than a goldfish now.
Yeah. Yeah.
That has been a very big change in our behavioral structure. We're not genetically much different, but our attention spans have gone down to 7.5 seconds, where I don't know the stats, but like even 5 to 10 years ago, it was in the minutes.
Really?
So this is why all that short form crap is all there, because it's like, I can't even pay attention for more than 1 minute versus an hour, because we're gotta go. Just try it. Try it one time and just say, all right, I'm going to do nothing for 5 minutes and see what happens. Your brain will not like you.
No, it won't like it. This was my practice.
You.
I made this goal that I was going to sit outside for 5 minutes a day doing nothing a couple months ago. And I think I did it maybe 3 or 4 times. And it's just so easy to not do that, which is not the same thing as non-doing, right? It's like the doing mechanism is so strong. So how do you...
It's a big
How do you fight that, or not fight that, but how do you shift that?
It goes back to intention.
Yeah.
Right? one of the biggest things I've done, like let's say you set I don't like the word goal, but let's say you set an intention of 5 minutes a day of nothing time.
Yeah.
You can put a timer on your phone. It's real easy to hit snooze or off and keep going, right?
Keep making it ring at you.
But it's how bad do you want it, right? Yeah. So one of those things is having accountability buddy.
Yeah.
I'm a high D in my disc profile. It means I'm not dominant, but I need a challenge.
Yes. Okay.
Like, I won't just do it because it's good for me. I'll do it because somebody said I can't do it.
Nice.
Or I have an accountability partner, especially if I have a paid one, like a coach that I've hired. Well, then, I've done all these things with my men's groups. It's like, all right, how are you going to actually do that? And it's like, well, if you don't do it, you owe me $100.
Right. I have to pay someone.
I'm not paying nobody $100. I'm going to freaking do that 5 minutes. Come on, out of 24 hours, we can.
Yes.
One of the things I've really helped in my own mindset, though, is once is okay because we're imperfect. Twice in a row, not so cool.
Twice in a row, not doing it, you mean?
So tell yourself, if I miss it today, I'm certainly not going to miss it another day in a row.
Right. Yes. I like that.
That generally helps forgive because we don't want to go into a blame cycle or a shame cycle. Oh, shit, I'm so bad. I can't even do 5 minutes. No. Hey, I didn't get 5 minutes. Love yourself out of that.
Yes.
And then say, you know what? It ain't going to happen tomorrow, Josh. Make that agreement with yourself.
Right.
That helps me tremendously with my meditation practice, especially.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking about the clients who I've worked with where it's like, okay, if it keeps not happening and we're all human, then we have to get underneath it to really look at why am I making this choice not to, right? What are the goodies that I'm getting?
That's a big one that I think with clients, with people, like asking those deeper level rooted why questions. Yeah. And it might take 5 of those whys to get to the root cause because you said it was important to you, right? But we went from going from thinking to doing is the step. Yeah. We all intellectually know that we should eat right and exercise, but we don't, right? We're standard Americans, most of us. And like, I'm not typecasting anybody, but we have an obesity crisis here. We know we should eat right, and yet many people do not. Nobody's asking about the people's relationship with food. Right. Right. We're trauma eating, we're soothing, we're this, we're that. Yeah. But the doctor just says you're overweight, eat different. Well, so wild. That's not how it works. No. And I had to, I've had a lot of issues with food and digestion. And so there have been times where I could only have liquid diet. And it really wasn't until I was forced to do that the emotional eating, I knew I was emotional eating, but it wasn't clear. Right. And so sometimes if we don't do it ourselves, we get whacked upside the head and we have these bodily issues or pains, right? That are like, hey, wake up and get conscious here. Well, and that's the fun, like the what's the right or wronging, these things. We're the only species on the planet that consciously will eat something bad for us. Yeah. Like squirrels don't go around looking for McDonald's to soothe their inner child wounds. But they'll eat a fry because that's the only damn thing to eat, and they're in survival because they got a little puny brain. Like for us, it's like, oh shit, I know that's super bad for me, but I'm going to eat it anyway. Yeah, it feels good, right? But we got to eat to. And then the other thing is we overeat. We're so used to having so much in front of us all the time, instant access to food and information that it's in overload and excess already. Yep. Because we're all seeking pleasure, right? That's a God-given right for all of us to feel the feels, to feel all the experiences. But I believe we should feel all of them, not just the good ones. Yeah. So if I'm hearing you right, in the finding the balance or the alignment, not just with your body, but body, heart, spirit, or energy, whatever you want to say, you're looking at all of these hard questions and self-reflecting on what is my relationship with food? What is my relationship with love? What is my relationship maybe with sex, with the earth, with people, right? All of these, they're not easy questions to ask. No, but for me, that's part of who I have become, maybe through
Mm-hmm.
practice, maybe just through my own ascension of who I am. I love the deep questions. Like, I don't love the surface stuff anymore. And maybe
No.
it's because I've gotten to a level in my own consciousness. The thing is there's no level where it's like I'm better than you, where it's just your level, right? It's your vibrational energy, however you want to look at it.
Yep.
But I love the deep stuff. And my kids will screw with me all the time because they're like my little organo baby, but like we'll be watching a movie and there'll be one of the gurus that's talking about like the part is the whole and this and that. Like, Dad, that's
Yeah, that's
you. And
you.
it's so hard. And then I just have a laugh because you can joke about your own stuff, you know?
Right. Well, I think that is an indicator that we're not so attached, or that we can take ourselves not as seriously. We can grow in that
go
way.
deep and still not take ourselves too seriously, right?
Yes.
The shamans of old, they're cut up all the time. It's not like they're just doing their deep energy healing work. Like I've spent time with them. They joke, they're jovial, even in the ceremony. There's a lightness to it that I think we still need to carry in life, because at the end of the day, most of the stuff, the day-to-day little acute, none of it really matters, because when you look long term, you won't be looking at that the same way a month from now. Even the shit like that we deal with, like getting, stuck in traffic or yelling at your spouse or whatever that thing is in the present moment was a big deal, right? Fight or flight kicked in. But then if you look at it a month from now, is it really a big deal? No.
Well, it goes back,
I look at it both ways, telescope and microscope.
Yeah. And you talked about intention before, right? It's like, okay, what is the intention? And if your intention shifts, then what matters shifts. If you know what really matters to you, it's a very different day-to-day experience than it was before.
Well, and that brings everyone back to that, like, what's in the present moment really matters, because that's where we create from. We don't create from the past or the future.
Yeah.
Those present moment, like, I find it funny now because, I don't know if funny is the right word, but like we take so many pictures.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, look at that sunset. Is it ever the same with the picture? No, I want to capture moments, sure, but you don't really.
Yeah.
That's the other beauty. We're the only mammals on the planet that will actually turn around and look at the beauty of our Earth.
Well,
you don't see squirrels going, look at the sunset tonight. They're like, oh, the sun's going down. I better find food and go to bed.
Right. Right.
That's we catch ourselves appreciating that side of our humanity.
Yeah.
Is all in the present moment, right? The picture is for the future. Like, I got to take all these pictures. Great. We got a phone, take 1,000 pictures, but then go back and just
actually experience and appreciate the moment. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So for men who are listening, or humans who are listening, maybe we can wrap up with what's something that helped you have the courage to take the step, to take the leap, to start the journey.
Well, I had a lot of friends, right? I had coaches. I had people in my tribe behind me, right? Yeah. Like holding space for you and encouraging you, because these are sometimes big decisions.
Yeah.
Like you might have a shift in a career or a relationship or just having to say the stuff that might hurt somebody else, but you still know is right.
Yeah. Or you still know, right? You still know you have to say it to be honest with yourself.
But after the fact, though, it's that moment again. It's like that moment of discomfort, but once it's set in motion, it's done.
Yeah.
And then generally, my experience and most people I talk through with these things, in their experience, that's when all the breadcrumbs start falling and things start to align with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it becomes aligned for you rather than you figuring out what's going on.
Right. If you're listening deeper, as we're talking about, not just to your mind, you start to be, I would say, guided, even though that can sound pretty woo-woo, but there's a sense, right, of aligning with some of that deeper wisdom.
And look, everything takes some level of practice, rewiring, relearning, and setting intention is really important.
Yeah.
And having the right, I say it ethics, because in energy work, those are the two things you do, ethics and intention.
What do you mean by
Intention
ethics?
means you intend to go this way.
Yeah.
But you got to release the expectation of it.
Got it. And what about ethics? How would you describe
ethics is easy for me. I'm just a heart-centered, like, loving person. Like, ethics means I'm not doing that for me because I want to hurt someone else or because I have an agenda, right? Those to me don't match energetically. They just don't vibe right. Like, that's why I'm very like, think of it this way. Is it purpose driven or is it some other motivational factor? Right? Like I'm a purpose over profit guy. So like, I'm not going to do it because I want to make money. I want to do it because it aligns with that person. Yeah. And they might value, but I might in exchange get something from it.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing.
But it's kind of like putting the finger out to them before you do you.
Yes.
In that reverse order. Like that helps me at least.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
Listen. Don't just hear. Right? You can hear things like the words, but when you really kind of listen to, I call it like $1 million listening. If you were really, you might, the essence, but this, you probably better than me when you coach people, is words are only a fraction of what we pick up.
Yes.
Not even just body language. It's all energy. All energy. There's
energy, right? It's so much deeper than the words that people say, which is why
practice that. When somebody walks in a room, what's your first impression of them? Not from here, but like, ooh, they're kind of or like, is it like welcoming? Are you just drawn to those people? Yeah. That's a match in this energetic fields, Yeah.
Thank you so much. Where can people find more of you?
Oh, well, I'm all about beyond the pills, right? So you can find me on my podcast. You can find me on Instagram, LinkedIn, Josh Rimany. You can find me there if I'm doing this amazing thing with my alignment arc. I'm bringing men through this process so they don't have to do it alone. Awesome. GoBeyondThePills.com. Like, this is it. This is what I do. So those are the places you can find me.
Great. And thank you for taking this wisdom, right? The modern science and wisdom, and not just throwing it out, but actually integrating it with the ancient wisdom. Because I really do believe that we don't want to chuck what's good, right? What's working, what's helping us. And there is so much more than most of us see on a day-to-day basis.
Well, I think it's remembering what we've inherently, generationally forgotten. Yeah. And going back to those things, but also in the way that we have. So it's a modern day approach to this stuff. Yeah. That really, I think, is the key to where we're going.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. This was so much fun. You're an amazing person. I love what you're doing for men and for relationships and for women. So thank you for your part in all this.
Thank you. Here. I love doing it together.
Exactly. It's a collective.
I'm so glad you joined us for today's episode of Man Alive. I hope you enjoyed our conversation and it gave you something to consider and explore in your life. If you like what you heard, I'd be so grateful for you to subscribe and write a quick review that helps men like you find us. And again, head over to shanajamescoaching.com/quiz or text the word ALIVE, ALIVE, to 44144 to get a sense of how you can become a better lover and leader. You'll start to see how you can be both more respected and desired in your unique and genuine way. If you don't feel as confident or as excited about life or love as you'd like to be, this quiz is a really great starting point and will guide you toward a more passionate love life and a more inspiring and successful career. So again, text ALIVE, ALIVE, to 44144 or head over to shanajamescoaching.com/quiz. Join us each week for a new episode of Man Alive.